Friends, hello. Congratulations to everyone that has really made a shitload of money in the last few hours here, but pretty much a week now with this stock going crazy. DWAC, Digital World Acquisition, which will be going right into True Social when this deal is complete and done. If you are back with me talking, listening to me talk, thank you so much. If you are new here, I will keep ranting and raving here about True Social. So, True Social, let's talk about what is going on today. I have to apologize. Last week I said, I believe True Social may be hitting a $50 mark here very soon. And a lot of you agreed. And then a lot of you, some people, that shall not be named, said I was crazy and should go jump off a bridge. But hey, this is what's happening right now. But I'm going to be honest, obviously on the thumbnail, I wrote 500, and here's what I want to explain about that 500. And yes, I mean $500. Looking at Digital World Acquisition, I think there's a lot of people playing this very different right now. I think there's people playing this, and I'm going to go over all the scenarios right now with what we're seeing and what's going to be happening. And obviously tomorrow is a huge day and could really break some numbers. But talking about True Social right now in the situation with Digital World Acquisition, the reason for the $500 mark is because there's no rules right now of what it can and cannot do, if that makes sense to people. That we've never seen anything like this. There's never been a stock on the market, and the deal's not even done yet with Digital World and True Social yet. So imagine when the deal actually is finalized and we see it on pen and paper. Imagine. So, and with that too, talking about the 500, trying to stay on track here, I've just so much I want to go over. But the 500 is because what we're seeing right now with this stock, every piece of good news that helps Trump in his race right now is shooting the stock up, is shooting Digital World Acquisition. We had the primaries 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago now, the stock shot up. Then last night, DeSantis drops out, which shot up the stock again, obviously here on the Monday, but also tomorrow is the New Hampshire primary caucus, which at this point we obviously know Trump is going to slay it and be the primary out of that state. And this is the thing with the schedule. The last video I made on Digital World here, True Social, whatever we want to call it, we all know what we're talking about. I gave the indication that I think whatever good news throughout the week that helps Trump and just helps his campaign and Trump supporters, whatever it be, it's going to directly at this point, everything he does that's good is going to be attached to this stock, which is pretty crazy right now because there's no limit. There's no telling what this thing could do. When I was saying $50, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, people were like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? This thing's going to go under. I was telling people a year ago, don't count this thing out. It's going to go crazy because it looks like more than not Trump will be running. Look where we are. We are months, hours away for the race to end, and potentially Trump could win. Now, if Trump were to win, that's a whole nother scenario of where Digital World and True Social, hopefully it's True Social 100% at that time, the deal's done. But, that's a whole nother thing. So going to the stock today, I'll harp more on that in a minute, but what the stock did today, and it's 3:30 now, but I just want to get this video out there. I've got to help make dinner and get my kiddos in the bath and get them ready for school tomorrow. So I just want to get this out and say, right now, we'll round it up here, and we're at, 47 and some change. Well, 46 and some change, but we'll round it up to 47. Obviously, last week when this thing really started to shoot off, we had analysts come out blatantly and say they believe the stock is going to go to $80 just on hype. Now, talking about that situation, here's what I also want to say too, and I know people you don't have to defend yourself in videos. Oh, well, I'm not so much trying to defend myself as just let people know where I am as an investor so they don't think I'm Looney Tunes here. So here's what I will say, kind of my disclaimer about True Social. Am I an active investor in it? Yes, I have money in it. But I am not investing in Digital World right now on the assumption that this is going to be a life-changing platform, that it's going to revolutionize, social media. anything like that. That's not why I'm putting money into it. I'm putting money into it because there's hype in it, and potentially the owner of the company is the most famous president that was and possibly could be here by the end of the year. And people love hype, and where there's hype, there's money. This is somewhat like a GameStop situation, and obviously the GameStop situation, AMC situation, totally different scenario, totally different situation is the best word to use there. And this that we're seeing right now is something totally different. So going back to the $500 mark, that this could go to 500, why not? Why do people want to argue about something like that? The situation is already crazy. It can get crazier. Does that make sense? Like, this could get crazier. This isn't me saying, like, and trying to be like one of these ape GameStop people, like, you need to empty your bank account, you need to sell your car, put everything into it. That's not what I'm saying whatsoever. I think this is going to be a highly volatile stock. I think it's going to be up and down with good and bad with whatever Trump does. Tomorrow is the New Hampshire primary. More than likely, this is a scenario when I would, with the stock running so high right now, I would make a video and tell somebody like, hey, I would not put any more money in this stock right now. I would not, I would back off because there's been so much movement as of right now. But with the situation that's going right now, I dare to say that tomorrow, once the polls are red and, Trump has his victory and all that, and they move on to the next state, which I think, I don't have my calendar up right now. Was it South Carolina? That'll be next, then Nevada. So, but, the stock could triple tomorrow. I don't know. It could just go to $50, $55. We could have a little bit of a sell-off, but I think it's crazy to say there's going to be a sell-off. I think that's crazy because we're watching this thing follow the news of Trump, and there's no real bad news around Trump right now. And people want to talk about the stuff with Digital World, in the past, the bad stuff, but I don't think that matters. This is moving strictly off FOMO and hype. People don't want to miss out, and why shouldn't they not want to miss out? This is, even if you're buying in at $40 or $50, it still might be a deal and cheap 3 months from now when it looks like Trump and Biden are going head to head, and we're potentially talking about a debate. That's a whole nother conversation. But, I had somebody ask me today, like, man, I missed the mark. Do you think I should wait for a sell-off? And I was like, man, I don't know what the sell-off's going to look like. I would like to say by Thursday, Friday of this week, there would be a sell-off. But I don't know. Right now, it's trying to close at 50. I'm sitting here actively watching it right now at 337, and it's trying to hit 47. It's trying to get to $50. It might close at that today. It might open up at $60 tomorrow. I mean, there's just no rules right now. And people want to say, look, well, I've been in the market for 20 years. This is not possible with what you're projecting with numbers and algorithm and volume. I get that. But I've been in the market for 6-7 years now, and I've watched a lot of stupid stuff make people money. And, I've gone through the whole Trump market when he was in office. I've gone through the whole AMC, Ape, GameStop thing, and came out with a little money in my pocket with that situation. So this right now, investors have been wanting this. They have been looking for this. In this situation right now, I guarantee you is going to turn into something ridiculous just off the basis of it is chum in the water, and that whole ape community, those investors that are looking for wham bam in and out, buy at 10 o'clock, sell at 10:30, buy back at 11:30, sell at 1 o'clock. They are going to find this is going to go crazy when short sellers start really taking, they start abusing this. But that is going to drive up the numbers more on this stock. $50 might be cheap compared to what 3 months from now looks like. I don't know. The only bad situation that could possibly happen right now is something terrible were to happen to Trump, which I don't see happening. And I'm not saying something should, so don't anybody come on here and say I'm saying things bad about Trump. I'm not whatsoever. Or the deal does not go through. Those are the only things that would make this stock fall apart and get people in a bad situation. Other than that, this is just going to be coasting. You're just going to be watching, your money be made. Now, I do think there's going to be some times where it's going to like have, it's going to, we'll use like, okay, it's at $50, then it's going to go down like $35, then it's going to go to $40 to $45, and then back down, Are we going to see 20s again? I don't know. 20s may be gone at this point. I don't know if we're going to see 20s again. That shit may have sailed. And that was just 8 hours ago this morning. Friends, I'm ranting. I'm raving. Obviously, I'm not even like, people get mad when like I don't talk about charts. I'm like when they want me to show like a candlestick chart. What do you want me to show you? I mean, this is strictly moving off of hype and news and following what Trump is doing, which is great. Like, fantastic. It's a fun situation right now. Like I said, there's been a lot of investors that have been waiting for something like this. There's a lot of investors that, I'll even throw myself into this ring where like I'm a long-term investor, but I also do enjoy chaos in the market where, I can put some money into something and it's like, okay, we'll just see what happens here. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't care. Well, this is a perfect situation, and this is a situation that we haven't seen before. And the weird thing with this is that like media groups still are not really talking about this. The general mainstream of media is not trying to talk about this digital world acquisition, True Social situation. And of course, when they do, they just rip it apart. They just, they don't have anything good to say. And that's why I was making videos on digital world like 3 months ago when I was like giving updates when there was really nothing going on. But I was telling people like, listen, I think this is going to do something one day. I think it's going to be later in the year, but it is hard to find general okay information, about True Social and digital world acquisition, because every time you read an article, it's so one-sided against True Social, which sucks because I enjoyed the argument that, you should give equal conversation in any situation, and you're just not seeing that still from the mainstream media. So friends, this thing is still rolling. We've still got an hour left. Well, not even an hour left in the market. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. If it were to go back, here come the comments. If it were to go back to $25, even $30, I'll probably put some more money in it. I probably will. $40 right now, it might be cheap. It might be cheap compared to what's going to happen here. But I am curious to see what's going to happen here. Tomorrow is the New Hampshire primary. Obviously, I expect this thing to go freaking ludicrous tomorrow. I just do. Wednesday probably will continue. Thursday, Friday, I'm curious to see if this volume is going to keep up, or is this just going to be a big sell-off and we're going to see it trickle back down to like a $31, $28 mark. If so, I probably would put some more money into it, because the proof is in the pudding that as long as Trump keeps demolishing his competition and going through these states and good news keeps following him, True Social is going to move. And you have to understand too is that you don't just have investors involved in this right now. You have people that just want to support Trump. And they're like, what's the True Social? I can invest in that? Oh, I'll buy a few shares here and there. It's a share. One share compared to a million shares, it's a share. They get ate up. If you have 1 million people buy one share, it's moving the stock. Friends, I wish everyone the best of luck with this. This is exciting. It's fun. I think it's a wild time to be an investor. It's a wild time to be alive. And I really do. 47. It's trying to go to 50. It's trying to go to 50. I wish everyone the best of luck. I really do mean that. Please subscribe. I'm going to keep talking about True Social here, digital world acquisition. Man, imagine if the deal were to close here soon. Imagine if the deal were to close here within months. What do you think that would do to the stock? What do you think that would do? I'll talk to you soon, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.